Hi everybody, Laura here for Honeybee Stamps. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a fun project to share with you. Kind of has a tropical feel to it. And I'm using some of the latest Hello Summer release products by Honeybee Stamps. I'm starting with these gorgeous new honey cuts, the lovely layers Monstera leaves and the two garden lattice. One's garden lattice top and one's garden lattice base. And I have two shades of cream cardstock that I'm going to layer on top of a white card base. So first I'm die cutting the garden lattice base. And by the way, I didn't have to use a metal shim. The die cut it like butter. Now I'm cutting the garden lattice top out of a lighter shade of cream. So we've got the darker shade of cream and the lighter shade of cream. You layer them together and you've got creamy magic. They look so pretty layered together, but I will say you could definitely use them individually if you wanted to. Because, I mean, look at that. Just gives you a little diamond magic, right? Little texture on your background. And then here's one little more thinner lines. Okay, so I have a 110-pound Nina Solar White card base here that I am scoring and using my beloved Teflon bone folder, which I could never live without. And we have the new Honeybee Stamps glue holder. Look at this thing. It's got the sweet little bee on the bottom. It's black and white stripe. And then we have the new precision tip glue tube, also by Honeybee. It's kind of a thicker, chunkier glue tube, but I will tell you this, it worked like a charm. There was no clogging. The precision tip is precision-y, and it worked great for me, and I love the glue holder. I believe it's made by Make It by Marco. I have the rainbow one, also by Make It by Marco, so they must have collaborated to do a custom Honeybee Stamps glue holder, and it holds that chunky glue tube just like it was meant to be. It's so handy-dandy and adorable. Okay, so I'm adhering the garden lattice cover plates, stacked them up onto the white card base, and look at that. I mean, it's so classy. It makes you feel like you're a class act. You know what I mean? It makes you look like you know what you're doing. Okay, moving on to the lovely layers Monstera leaves. I'm doing 3 leaves, and each leaf has 2 colors to it. So the first one's 2 shades of corally, orangey, and then we have the green, 2 tones of green, and then lastly the 2 tones of pinky bubblegum pinky. And this is where the tropical vibes come in, I think. Anyway, just go with it. All right, so I'm going to do a little foam tape on the back of my lovely layers Monstera leaf die cuts, and I'm just putting a smidge of foam tape, not too much, just a little dab will do ya. I don't want to over adhere, and the reason I don't want to over adhere is because when I pop it on top of the darker leaf, I want to be able to curl the edges up. Just give it a little curl. Curl up the edge, give a little air. You know what I say, dimension is life. Now, the technical term for what I'm doing here is called the zhuzh. I'm zhuzhing the leaves. And that really is the secret sauce to Monstera leaves and also in life. If you don't know if something's not working, just zhuzh it, and that will make it better, I think, hopefully. Okay, the last little coral leaf here. Now, another thing you can do if need be, use your retractable needle tool to zhuzh. Works like a charm. Okay, once I get all the leaves zhuzhed, I'm not going to say that again. I'm adhering them on top of the garden lattice background, and I'm just kind of, tilting them, nestling them. I'm making a nice little tropical cluster, if you will. And look at it. The texture, the color, the lift. Now for the sentiment, I'm using this Wish You Were Here stamp set. It's got the aloha and the mahalo. Lots of fun sentiments. What I like to do is take the stamp set and I lay it over top and I just kind of see what fits. Those short ones almost felt too small. This big one almost felt too big. But the one in the middle was just right. Sounds like I'm telling the story of the 3 bears. Do you remember that? Papa Bear's bed was too big and Baby Bear's bed was too small, but Mama Bear's bed was just right. I've told that story a time or two. Okay, so I'm embossing it in white onto black cardstock, pouring on some white embossing powder. Now here's something that I don't often show, but that I always do. Anytime I pour on white embossing powder, I take a dry brush and I go over around the edges and get off any of that excess embossing powder, and then I take my retractable needle tool and I get in there. I get in the nitty gritty and get any little stray off, and I blow on it and I love on it until it's just right. To me, it makes all the difference. That little attention to detail is just what makes the execution bada bing. Okay, so I'm using the coordinating die to die cut the sentiment out, and there you have a nice black and white sentiment which will pop beautifully on these colorful Monstera leaves. Now to finish it, I added just a few sparkling clear sequins. I got the different sizes. Some are on top of the leaf, some are tucked under, and it's all about the tuck, the cluster, the stagger, the bling. And this card is finished. I mean, just look at it. I don't know what it is. If it's the color, the texture, the lift, must be the zhuzh. Either way, I'm sending you tropical vibes today. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.